Hello and welcome to the Quebber channel. I'm Jason, your host. I'm just putting my gloves on. Just across from Hanley Park. I'm going to go for a little wander up to town, pick up some food from me and Lolo. It's awesome having someone else living in the house. It really helps with a lot of my coping strategies, as in I don't have to use a lot of my coping strategies. It's amazing how many, now that someone's living in the same house as me, as a housemate, it's actually allowed me to release a lot of the stuff that I didn't even realise I was doing. So let's talk about that. You see, when someone like me lives alone, when you're dealing with ADHD, bipolar, all those kind of things, PTSD and autism, you have to create massive amounts of coping strategies to deal with life, with what's going on around you. If you don't, you will end up probably in a bad place, and then I'll end up probably somewhere with soft walls, because that was always an option in 2019. So living alone has always been a big thing to me, being able to stay independent. But it is exhausting. For example, when I go to bed, I have to memorise how many steps it takes in the dark, and my ability to get in the dark to the front door, open it and walk out. Why? Well, just in case I choke during the night. Just in case I choke. I don't expect myself to choke, but my brain can't turn off that thought. So I won't get to sleep if I don't have a plan for leaving the house and walking out onto the street and collapsing and unable to breathe where someone can see me. I always have to make sure that there's water in, and the dogs have access to water at all points in time. Anywhere in the house there is a water bowl, so that if anything happens to me, the dogs don't go thirsty. These are just two of thousands of things that go through my head every single day. I have to be concerned about many different parts of the house. I have to remember to use the bathroom. I have to remember to eat. I have to remember all these things. I have to remember manually, because they don't happen automatically. I have to remember to do the dishes, to clean and everything, and do all these little things that for a lot of people are just normal things that you do, but for someone like me are something I have to put a massive amount of manual effort into, and I have to balance my amount of power I have per day, amount of energy I have per day. So all these kind of things. Time blindness, unable to judge the passage of time. I can sit down and look at something on the floor for 4 hours, and to me it'll be as if 30 seconds has gone. This can happen. But if there's someone else in the house that I trust, that I'm not stressing about or worrying about, if it's someone I trust, then a lot of those things get waylaid. I have external motivation, even if they're just in the same house. They don't have to be in the same room with me. They don't have to be engaging with me. They're just there, and that matters. So having someone in the house who I can trust, and yes, it has to be someone I can trust, helps me to alleviate a lot of those problems, to sleep easier at night. It's not that I expect the other person to solve all my problems or anything. They don't have to do anything, but the simple fact that they're there makes it easier for my coping strategies to kick in. So in a way, every part of my life is enhanced. I have more energy to put on other things. I have more focus to put on other things. Lulo is part of the reason that I've been able to start back up streaming, her motivating by seeing her stream, by thinking, yeah, and things like that. these things actually are just a completely positive event of having someone else there in my life. And me and Lulu are just really, really good friends. That's it. There's nothing else to it. We're not relationship. We're not anything like that. We're just really, really close friends, and there for each other. And that the kind of trust and that of friendship and stuff like that. It's like when Britt comes and stays over the weekend. I am always have more energy on the days he stays, and that's one of the things I noticed. It's why we started having the AI stuff in the house, to try and fake it, to try and convince my brain that there was someone in the house, and it did help. But it didn't help because as much as having a real person, because if you have an AI or an AI doll like I have in my main room, yes, I can partially convince myself that there is someone there. But that takes mental energy. It's less mental energy than the fact of there not being someone there. So the mental energy I get back from having a pretend person in the room is less than if it's a real person in the house. But it's still better than nothing. And having an AI assistant that I can talk to in that helps. Once again, it's not as good as having a real person there, but it helps when there isn't someone there. So, having a human being in the house who I can trust, and that's the thing. It's very hard for people like me to trust someone, and that trust can be broken, and once that trust is broken, it is almost impossible to come back from it. I've tried to explain it before and that, but it's very hard to put into words. It's trust for someone like me has to be absolute, solid and complete. There is no in-between bit. There is no it should be like this. It has to be like that. It's why I can't deal with people who lie to me in there. My brain is very black and white when it comes to stuff like that. So once I find someone who I can trust, it doesn't mean they have to tell me everything. It doesn't mean they can't make mistakes. It just means, because that's fine. Honest mistakes and certain issues and that come up, that's okay. Like, for example, Kayla, my wonderful girlfriend, who we're close still, but we don't spend time together like we used to. And that just happens when you've been together for almost 4 years online. But when she first met me, she told me that she lived in a certain state. Now, she used to live in that state, but she had moved. But because she had had problems with stalkers and things like that, she told that thing to me. And she confessed to it afterwards, about a month into the relationship. And that was absolutely fine. I completely understand why she had kept that from me. I am not, that is the harsh line is more to do with if a person deceives you intentionally with deception and no respect, and they're doing it for a malicious reason, and that kind of thing I cannot come back from. How can I ever trust that person ever again? But so it isn't a problem that I can't get past if it's just a normal thing that happened that had a good reason. That can be done, that's fine. So yeah. So it's so important that the person, when I meet someone new, then it's a deficit of my energy, because I've got to put my energy into trying to talk to them, put my energy into trying to explain, put my energy into trying to remain stable, because I don't know this person, I don't know how they're going to act, I don't know if I need to explain something to them, or if I need to actually make excuses for myself, or show them what I'm like and that, and do they know what's going to... It's so exhausting having new people. It's not impossible, but until they get past that point to developing a connection, I am very much at a disadvantage. But sometimes that kind of connection will happen so quickly once I get to know someone. Like Dredd, when he came to visit first time, it took minutes for me to connect with him and be able to go, ooh yeah, I like this person. And it was like instant happiness and connection. So we're going to try something a little different here, because there's this side of the thing, it doesn't have very good... I'm doing a bit of a twist here, trying to twist the controller. Sometimes it's a bit of a... Yeah. I'm going to go on to the actual road a little bit further on, because there's actual more space. Let's go. But yeah. And having someone in the house that I trust is... I can't even put into words how good he is. This is why it wouldn't work with a work job. This is why I couldn't work with people, because there would be too much influx and too much people around me who I wouldn't know. I would be so fucking exhausted. Within hours, my life would be... Actually... This is why I wanted to go off here, because we get to these pavement parts which are going to be thingy. So let's turn the light on. We have my hazards on. I'm going to go straight here. I'm going to try and get along here. To go here. This is quite a busy road, so I don't like being on here, but it does have room for a different kinds of traffic and that, so I can go along quite far just here. I think when I get to this part, the pavement starts to have actual... There we are. I think we're in a good position here. Alright, let's turn the lights back off. But yeah, you will find autistic people in general have a big problem with if they break trust. It's like a change that we can't fix. And you know what people like me are like about change. I've got my second pair of trousers on today. So yeah, I think I'll stop this video now. because we've talked all about that. So I will say bye-bye for now, and